Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 for this, our reactions to sprint qualifying ahead of the Qatar Grand Prix, the penultimate race weekend of the year, the weekend where the World Championship could all be sealed up. We'll have to wait until Sunday to see if that will happen, though, because we are looking now at the starting grid for our sprint race, where, of course, the championship can't be decided, but all the points count the same nonetheless. We are running a little bit late today because I've been out and about. I've been selling a Vauxhall Astra, but that's a story for a different time. A very sad story. My poor Vauxhall Astra's gone. But we move because I want to actually show you something pretty quickly before we get started, because I was out and about today and I was in a shop. And you know when you get to the tills and they surround the tills with like chocolate bars and stuff to make you buy something just as you're waiting to buy everything else that you actually came in for? Well, in there, in the little thing that tempts you before you buy anything, were Formula 1 Turbo Attack cards. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy a pack. And I did. And in that pack, I think I got 3 of possibly the most cursed cards that they have ever released. I'm going to show you them right now. Firstly is this one. It is the F1 Team Dynasty card featuring Max Verstappen, Yuki Tsunoda, and one Christian Horner there. That one hasn't aged particularly well, but don't worry, the next one has aged even worse. Oh look, remember this fella? It's Oliver Oakes. Oh my goodness, what are you doing here? I forgot you existed. Oh, wow, that's how I heard about you. It was surrounded with lots of accusations of crime. Then the final card is this one, and it is a picture of Oscar Piastri, more cursed because it says the words podium power on the bottom, and as we all know, he hasn't had a podium in quite some time. But following from sprint qualifying, that may be about to change, because Oscar Piastri's back. I'm out of focus. Hello? I'm here, camera. Focus on me. But yes, Oscar Piastri is back. It only took him, 7 race weekends? But finally, a decent result. We'll break all of it down in just 1 second. Before we do that, remember to like and subscribe. And of course, the biggest shout out to our members: Dakota, the Joyce James, Ron Myers, Cinnamon Strudel, Michael Johnson, Mr. Eurovision 1986, Philip Duganzik, Sarah Jowett, Andy Jones, and Facetious Badger. They are our members. If you want to become a member, click the link in the description down below, either on YouTube or on Patreon. If you become a Mansell Mustache member right now, you get to see every episode of the Advent Scalendar right now before anyone else has even seen day 1. My goodness, great stuff. Let's get into SQ1 to begin with then. And you know what? It was a tough old day for one Maximilian Verstappen. And it started in SQ1. He was actually the first to set a lap time. And they are running the car so incredibly low. And you can see it immediately. There's just sparks flying out of the back of the car, to the point that after his first lap, his floor had been scraping the ground so much that he'd actually just left a line all around the track that everyone else could follow, like in a video game with a racing line on. So, we're following on from a double disqualification for McLaren last time out for plank wear. How the hell can Max Verstappen's plank survive this weekend if it's already been destroyed in sprint qualifying? But we carry on, and the track does get quicker and quicker, as we would come to expect. Of course, a track like this does not get used very often, so every lap that goes down, you're applying more and more rubber, and it just gets quicker and quicker and quicker. And there's a few cars that pop up here and there, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? Bortoleto was in 4th, Nico Hulkenberg was in 6th. Fernando Alonso went top at one point, and you think, well, that must be just a random event. Alonso did have a pretty good finishing result in the end, though. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Someone who hasn't done well, though, is one Lewis Hamilton. At one point, struggling down in 19th. He does improve from there, but ultimately not enough. Max Verstappen does set some decent times in the end, but yes, over the radio, and we saw this in the second half of FP1. The first half of FP1, on the hard tyres, he seemed to be very, very comfortable. When they moved over to the softs in FP1, that's when he seemed to struggle quite a bit, and then through all of SQ1, just really fighting the car. Anyway, these are our 5 guys who are out in SQ1. Firstly, Colapinto starts dead last. It's his first dead last qualifying since Mexico. Pierre Gasly, his teammate, joins him in P19. Alpine continue to be dreadful. It's his first last row start, though, since Singapore. In 18th place is Lewis Hamilton. He did improve, but then so did everyone else. Pushed him right back down. Madness, because he was on pole position for the first sprint race of the year. For the last sprint race of the year, he will start 18th. He's not happy at all. His interview afterwards, they played it during SQ2. They just played the audio. And there is no positivity there at all. And, you know, the closer and closer we get to the end of this season, the more and more I can see him just pulling a Rosberg and going, you know what, I'm not coming back next year. But unlike Rosberg, it wouldn't be off the back of a world title win. It's off the back of what has been a rather disappointing first season with the Ferrari team. In P17 is Liam Lawson. It's his first Q1 exit of any type since the Italian Grand Prix. And the rumours abound the paddock at the minute surround, of course, the Red Bull second seat and what's going on there. It seems to be that this is the general consensus that Hadjar has got the second seat of the Red Bull. So it's going to be Verstappen and Hadjar for next year in Red Bull. The Racing Bulls is more complicated, though, because it looks like they want to promote Lindblad into Formula One, which is fantastic news for him, but not fantastic news for if you are Yuki Tsunoda or Liam Lawson, because it sounds like they're not too sure on which way to go on that direction. And off the back of these qualifying sessions, Yuki Tsunoda did incredibly well. Liam Lawson, not so much. But, you know, if you want to talk about bad qualifying sessions, look at Arvid Lindblad's, last 5 or 6 in F2? I mean, I love Arvid Lindblad. I've been a huge supporter of him since he joined F2. Came out the box, was just super quick. But, you know, you can't deny his last few F2 races have not been up to the standard of someone who could be called up to F1 next year. Anyway, back to SQ2. Stroll was 17th. His third Q1 exit in 5 races. Fantastic. Great stuff, Stroll. To SQ2 now, and Verstappen's struggles continue. He just was not happy at all on the radio. At the early points, he was complaining and he was 4th. And then he was still unhappy, but he was in 3rd place and just 0.08 off of Norris, who was in 1st with Piastri between them. So it was kind of that thing that sometimes happens with Max Verstappen, where he's massively unhappy with the car, but his times are still quick, and, you know, you sit there going, yeah, he's not happy, he could be going quicker, but right now it's not too bad. Unfortunately for him, it would get worse. It wouldn't get worse, though, for the guys who were out. This was the worst it got. In 15th place is Esteban Ocon, 14th place is Nico Hülkenberg, and 13th place is Gabriel Bortoleto. Now, this goes to show you how the current trends of these two teammates are going, because Nico Hülkenberg in 14th place is his worst qualifying since Baku, whereas Bortoleto in 13th place is his best qualifying since Baku. So, you know, a tale of two cities, if you will, in the Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber camp. In 12th place is Ollie Behrman. He's been in, before this, he was in 4 of the last 5 Q3s. So, you know, not a great performance for Ollie Behrman, but still beating his teammate just outside the top 10. It was Kimi Antonelli knocked out in 11th place, but just as the final car crosses the line, Isaac Hadjar has a lap time deleted and he is pushed from 10th to 11th. Kimi Antonelli just going through, Hadjar out P11. Then we go to SQ3, and Max Verstappen's struggles just get worse, to the point that he just has a massive snap of oversteer outside of turn 4, jumps over the curb, through the gravel trap. Looks like he has given himself even more floor damage than he had before, which will not help him in any way. After everyone's first laps, this was how the top 10 looked. So Verstappen was in 10th with no time. It was Tsunoda 9th, Antonelli 8th, Alonso 7th, Sainz 6th, Albon in 5th, Leclerc in 4th, Russell was 3rd, Norris was 2nd, and Oscar Piastri on provisional pole, Norris missing out by just 0.044. Everyone then sets fast lap times, and this is our top 10 for tomorrow. Albon is in 10th place. Charles Leclerc is in 9th, his second 9th position in a row for qualifying. And looking at the discussion online, it seems like he was incredibly unhappy that he says he was blocked by Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, who is in P8. Kimi Antonelli just scraped through into Q3, but he will start in 7th. Ahead of him will be Max Verstappen in 6th. He does set a fast lap time, but ultimately not fast enough to challenge the top in the weekend, where he could again be pushed out of the championship. Then, for the first time ever, Yuki Tsunoda out-qualifies Max Verstappen in a Red Bull. Tsunoda in 5th place. Great job from him. Great lap, though, from Fernando Alonso. He'll be on the second row for tomorrow. He starts in 4th. It is Lando Norris in 3rd place. Bad spacing from him, really, at the end. He had Albon directly in front of him, which obviously was going to slow him down. But then, of course, he also went off on the final corner. So even if he could got something out that lap with Albon in front of him, he threw it all away at the end. Either way, he's in 3rd place. Still very much on for him to secure the title this weekend. But on the front row, firstly, we have George Russell, who delivered a fantastic lap right in the dying moments to put himself in P2. But in P1 and back on top is Oscar Piastri, his first pole position since the Dutch Grand Prix, since he won that race, had that massive lead with Lando Norris's engine blowing up, back when he had 104 points between him and Max Verstappen. How times have changed. But in the dying moments of this championship, Oscar Piastri, it looks like maybe he's come back. We will find out, is he truly back, though, as we go through the rest of this weekend. We'll find out tomorrow what will happen there. I think it could be a spicy one. Having Piastri there, desperate to do something to keep his championship hopes alive. Lando Norris knows he can secure the championship this weekend in P3. George Russell's going to be there. And whenever George Russell's in the mix at the top, he's always winding someone up. So something will happen there. Then Verstappen down in 6th. The good news for Verstappen, of course, is that between the sprint and main qualifying, he can make setup changes. Maybe even a floor change if he has to from there, because whatever's going on with the Red Bull right now, it's not looking good. But changes can be made to put him hopefully in a better position for the main race. He'll start tomorrow from 6th. We shall cover all of it. I shall be here with you then. Until next time, have a good one. I will see you later. Goodbye.